Lads, it turns out the Fever can. It turns out the Fever have the ability to bring in a point guard for tomorrow. Not only that, they could bring in some size. They could bring in some size by tomorrow. They have the cap space to do something. They have the ability to do it. So we saw this, and I talked about this in my last video, and I just saw this other tweet now. But due to league rules, the Fever won't be able to sign a hardship player. They don't need to sign a hardship player. They don't need to. And if you guys agree the Fever should do this, subscribe. We are trying to gain a subscriber today. Right now, we've lost 6. We're trying to gain 1. We need 7 subscribers to gain 1 subscriber on the day. But anyway, this is from Richard Cohn, who's obviously from Her Hoop Stats, which is where you get a lot of your information, or I get a lot of my information from. But he said here, the Fever could waive one or both. They'd be paying them out in full either way, with over 95k in cap space remaining. They have the room to take the hits and fill both spots with rest of season deals, but may not want the PR of immediately cutting injured players. So I kid you not, If they cut both of these players, if they cut Ari and they cut Sid Colson, they get paid everything. They don't lose a cent. So Ari and Colson don't lose a cent if they get cut. They're just no longer on the roster. They don't lose 1 cent of money. And it means the Fever can bring in players. But we know the Fever aren't going to do it. If Alexa Philippou is talking about them not being able to sign a hardship, we know they're just going to sign a hardship. We know they're going to go out. Like, the Fever can literally get rid of the 2 of them, sign 2 new players, and go out with 12 players in the playoffs. But we know the Indiana Fever are going to go out with 10 players in the playoffs. Like, we just know they're going to do it. We know they're going to do it. Like, we know, like, look, they're going to be dumb for cutting. They're not, like, if anyone's getting cut, it's going to be Chloe Bibby. If anyone's getting cut, they're going to cut her. You just know it. For PR reasons. Could also cut Bree Turner. At this stage, she's got diplomatic immunity. She's not going anywhere. They used to say it was bad PR when the Wings waved Carly Samuelson or criticism. No. Like, people complained about that as well. People complained about that. Like, he didn't say it was bad PR. He said they might not want the PR. I'm not saying this guy. It's like, it is a PR thing. People were wondering, it's like, why did they cut Carly Samuelson? But the difference is like, the Wings have a bit of backbone. They have a bit of backbone. This Indiana Fever team don't. This Indiana Fever team, front office, would rather appease the people in WNBA circles that hate their team's guts, that hate their star players' guts. They would rather make them happy than win a championship. And I stand by that. It needs to be proven otherwise. Until there is something to prove otherwise, until there is any decision made with even an ounce of ruthlessness from this team, until they do that, until they show some willingness to, to take something on and just say, no, we're writing our story, we're writing our destiny, we don't really care, we're going to make a winning move. Until they do that, how are we supposed, why would anyone believe that this Indiana Fever front office gives a damn about winning? Am I wrong? PR, they're still covered and cared for in the org, and the fan base doesn't want this for them. Why is our only organisation that has to care about PR? We love Sid and Ari, but there's also a team. Blame Amber Cox and Kelly Krauska, because I actually think they care more about their standing in WNBA circles than they do about winning basketball. I think they do. Let's be completely honest. Let's not forget. Cindy Brunson demanded the Indiana Fever organization apologize on behalf of Caitlin Clark. Cheryl swoops the stuff she said about Caitlin. Amber Cox there, buddy with both of them. They're not going to say a negative word about DeWanna Bonner when DeWanna Bonner quit on their team. They are the only organization that were spineless enough to pay DeWanna Bonner while she sat at home and just waver. I can guarantee you, the organization that DeWanna Bonner went to, the Phoenix Mercury, if she tried to pull that on them, she'd be sitting her ass at home. They would fine her for every cent that she made while she was sitting at home. And if she did not want to play, she was getting traded and she was getting fined. She wasn't getting paid. And if she showed up again, cool, she'll be paid. And if she didn't want to show up past the trade deadline, want to sit at home, she's sitting her ass at home. They're not waiving her. They wouldn't waive her. But like, they're definitely not doing that. Soft front office not waiving anyone. FPR. This front office cares more about PR than basketball, so it's not happening. Don't worry, they'd still get a championship ring. Like, they're just not. They're not going to do it. They're they have an opportunity. And look, I really hope I'm proven wrong. I really hope I'm proven wrong. But we all know. We all know. Like, if this was the Mercury, if this was the Liberty, if this was the Lynx, if this was the Dream, if this was the Storm, we all know if it was any of those teams, these players would just be cut. If it was a case of it really affecting the team, these players would be cut if they had the salary cap. If they freed up the salary cap and they were able to do it, like the reason why the Storm didn't cut Katie Lewis, the Storm didn't have the salary cap to do it. The Storm didn't have the salary cap that was of any benefit to them. The Fever do have the salary cap. They have the cap room. They have the cap room to do it. But you just know that they're not. You know all the organizations I named would have done it. And you want to know what the difference between them and the Fever are? They are the real contenders. They are contenders. The Fever are a good basketball team with a coach that wants to coach everything good out of Caitlin Clark. And the Fever are, as much as anything, I'm going to call them pretenders. I'm going to call them pretenders. I'm not calling this team contenders. Hell no, I'm not calling this team contenders. I'm not calling this organization contenders. And like, I'm sorry. I want to apologize to Lynn Dunn. I really want to apologize to Lynn Dunn. Like, I thought you sucked at you sucked at your job. You were a little bit better than Tamika Catchings. Tamika Catchings was horrendous, but like, you sucked at your job. Like, you literally waived. The first thing you did was cut Alana Smith. Then you cut Emily Ensler after a rookie year for realistically no reason. Then you gave Erica Wheeler the biggest contract in the WNBA off a 7 point per game season, and then you gave Katie Lou Samuelson a max the next year when you knew you were getting Caitlin Clark. Like you did a bad job, but like at least it's not this. At least it's not this. Like you had the ruthlessness to cut Celeste Taylor at least to bring in Dantas. You had the ruthlessness to cut Celeste Taylor when she wasn't really playing, even though why Victoria Saxton was still playing. Like, why do we have to employ a cheerleader? Like, we had Victoria Saxton was a cheerleader. Last year we employed a player because she was Aaliyah's friend. This year we employ a shot clock. We employ a shot clock. We currently employ a raw rookie who's not ready. KK's good, but like, she's not ready to play the big time. A player that we signed for a full season contract, which I'm convinced was just to appease the crowd, who your coach has no interest in playing, and a human shot clock. We employ a human shot. We are so scared of PR that we wouldn't even pay out a human shot clock to bring in more talent. But let's be real. The Fever's ceiling is first round of the playoffs. The Fever are not getting into those 1, 2, 3, 4 seeds. They're not getting into that 4-5 matchup. And the Fever are not beating any team. They are not beating any team that finishes in the top 3 seeds. The Fever's ceiling, realistically, unless Caitlin Clark turns into the best player in the world like she did for the second half of last season, and I don't think Caitlin Clark's going to turn into the best player in the world because she's been injured for so much, I think it's done.